Okay, we're doing a review on fraction addition. Also, you did this last year, so we're going to practice it this year just to get fresh before we go into harder problems. So remember, when you do fraction addition, you want to look at your denominators and make sure they're the same. And if they're a common denominator, then you just add the numerators and you add the whole parts. This only has one whole part, so we're going to say 3 for the whole part, and we're going to have 2 plus 3 makes 5. The denominator remains 5, so we have 3 5/5, but that's not how we write our final answer because it's not considered a proper fraction. So 5/5 is equal to 1 whole. So really our answer is 4. Most of the problems you're going to do aren't that easy. So when you don't have a common denominator, we want to go back to our tools. So some of our tools are lists, like listing common multiples. Mental math, that's a good one. If you just know the common denominator, but you want to make sure you're going to get the least common multiple, so our numbers are nice and small, or the division ladder. I'm going to demonstrate each tool. So for number 2, when I look at the problem, 3 and 5 aren't common. They're not the same. So I'm just going to list out multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, until I find one, the very first one, that is also a multiple of 3. So some of you may already know this, that that's 15. If you didn't, you could list the multiples of 3 in order from low to high, and you'll see the first number both 5 and 3 have in common is 15. So that's our least common multiple, which is going to be our common denominator. So this is how we're going to do this. Make a little more room here. We'll get to those harder problems. You can just use that division ladder concept here, multiplying the top and bottom by 3 here to get 15 and 9, and multiplying the top and bottom by 5 here to get 10 and 15. And rewrite the problem so it's easy to read. 10, instead of 2/3, you're going to say 10 and 10/15. Plus 2, don't forget about that 2 right there, and instead of 3/5, you're going to say 9/15. Now add 10 and 2, you get 12. You also have common denominators, 15 here, so you can add 9 and 10, and you get 19/15. 15 is smaller than 19, so we have to change that. 15 goes into 19 once, so it's 12 plus 1 whole, and the remainder is 4. So our final answer is 13 and 4/15. So that's using lists. Mental math, a lot of you would have come up with that common denominator by mental math, and that would be fine. If you don't remember the ladder, you'll notice here there's not a common denominator, but you can use a division ladder to figure out the common denominator. So 2 goes into both, well, 4 goes into both of these. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. And the only thing common to 1 and 3 is 1. So the division ladder, once you get a 1 here, you're at the bottom of the division ladder. And when you multiply the top of the division ladder by the bottom of the other side, you get the LCM. That's 12. And you can cross-check it. 4 times 3 gives you 12. And remember, it doesn't matter how you start your division ladder. You'll always end up with the same least common multiple. So I need to make my denominator 12. That makes this an easy problem because this is the only thing that needs to change. What I like about the division ladder, it also shows you to multiply 4 by 3. So I have to multiply the top and bottom by the same number. Make a little more room. So this is 2, and 3 times 3 gives me a 9. So 2 and 9/12 plus 3 and 1/12. That's equal to 5. And, oops, 5 and 10/12, which can be reduced because both 10 and 12 are divisible by 2. So our final answer is 5 and 5/6. Let's do one last example. 8 and 12 are not common denominators. Some of you can use mental math, but I'm just going to demonstrate the division ladder one more time for those of you that need more steps. So 2 goes into 8 4 times, and it goes into 12 6 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times, and it goes into 6 3 times. The only thing common to 2 and 3 is 1. Every time we get a 1, we know we're at the bottom of the division ladder. So that least common multiple is the bottom of one side times the top of the other. So the least common multiple is 24. And you can cross-check. 8 times 3 is also 24. What I like about that division ladder is it tells us what we need to multiply. We need to multiply the 12 by 2 right here to get 24. So we also do that by 2. And we need to multiply the 8 by 3. So we're going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 3. We read the problem, 3 and 3 times 5 is 15. So 15, 8 times 3 is 24, 24ths, plus 2, 3 times 2 is 6, 12 times 2 is 24, 2 and 6, 24ths. So our final answer is adding the whole numbers, 5, 15 and 6 make 21, 24ths. And then see if you can simplify. 3 goes into 21, and 3 goes into 24, so 7/8. So the final answer is 5 and 7/8.